Hi everyone, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Thank you for joining the second episode of the Nitty Gritty. I'm Jade. I'm one of the associate nutrition response testing practitioners as well as a motion code practitioner. And today I'm super excited to introduce another associate nutrition response testing practitioner. She has a background in holistic health as a holistic health coach, as well as a certified yoga instructor. She is my amazing and patient mentor, and I'm super appreciative of her. She has a heart of gold, and she wants her clients to succeed so well. She empowers them, and it's inspiring to watch. So I'd like to introduce Joanne.
Hi. Thank you for saying all that.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm like getting emotional. She's basically like one of the main stars in my training, and I model a lot of my interactions and communication with my clients with her. So I'm like, oh.
Yay.
Okay, so Joanne, can you tell us a little bit about just your journey in general and how you became a nutrition response testing practitioner?
Sure. So I've always been called to do work that has a purpose and to be of service. And so before going into holistic health, I actually was working in like nonprofit management for some time. I worked at a food bank and did like nutritional education and managed child meal programs. And it was at that time I was working at a food bank in New Orleans. I did a yoga teacher training, and I really delved into my yoga practice, and I got so many benefits from that in terms of improving my mental, physical, emotional, spiritual health. And so I started teaching in order to share those benefits, and that just kind of opened the door for me to want to support others in cultivating greater health and happiness in their own lives. And so I've always been really interested in nutrition. That's when I decided to kind of make a career change, and I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and I got my holistic health coaching certification. And I started working with clients one-on-one to improve their foods, to make changes to their lifestyle practices. And I did that for some time, and then I always knew, like, I had like this feeling that like I needed to be able to offer more. And I didn't really know what that was yet, so I was like looking into different opportunities. I was looking into higher education, and at that time I just happened to meet Renee and Shannon, who are the owners of Natural Healing Center, and they introduced me to nutrition response testing. And it just felt like one of those moments where you're like in the right place at the right time. It was like total synchronicity, and so I just went like full force in that direction, and I'm really glad I did. You know, it resonates with me so much, and I love the work environment here, and I've been able to do what I wanted to do in offering clients something that is really, it's technologically based, so it's like able to pinpoint areas of stress and not take the guesswork out of, okay, what could be wrong and this type of thing, and really giving them like a structured roadmap towards their health. So yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I'm working on getting my advanced certification now, so I'm just planning on going forward in this direction, and it feels really good.
Yay, thank you. I didn't even know that you worked at a food bank.
Yeah.
That's so, I was like, what? Wait a minute. I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
Was it
awesome?
Was it, what demographic was it supporting?
It was after school meal programs for low income children in like the greater New Orleans area.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what kind of foods did you guys offer?
Yeah, so, you know, we were grant funded, and so everything would have to be like USDA, like, you know, that plate, the plate.
Yeah.
So we had a combination. We had like a certain monies we could spend on purchased food, and we could supplement that with donated food. So it had to be like a certain serving amount of like protein with every meal, veggies, fruits, like carbohydrates, all based on like USDA guidelines.
That's cool. I didn't know it was like regulated that much. I thought it was just like, okay.
No, it was very strict, and it was really like complicated and made it difficult sometimes to do it. But,
oh my goodness, I didn't know. I thought it was just like, oh,
feed them whatever you want.
Cup of noodle, here you go. I don't know, that's so cool.
Yeah, thank
oh
you.
My goodness. So how do you utilize your background in like being a holistic health coach and a yoga instructor in nutrition response testing?
Yeah, so good question. I feel like I coach so much during my day working with clients in trying to set small goals and that type of thing. And with holistic health coaching and yoga, I feel like some common threads are just like mindfulness. So being mindful with your foods or how you spend your time, how you move your body. And like another common thread being like self-love or self-care. So that's the way that I like to approach holistic health. So it's like, you know, when it comes to our foods, we're approaching how we eat as like a means of how we practice like caring for ourselves or loving ourselves. And it's the same thing when it comes to like moving our bodies. You know, it's like time to care for ourselves. And it really can apply to everything. So it's like, you know, looking at your finances as a form of self-care, or looking at your home environment as self-care. And so I like to kind of approach it in that way when it comes to working with clients, you know?
Yeah.
I never want them to feel like it's a chore or like something they have to do. So mindset is a big part of it too. Yeah, positive thinking and just the way that we look at something. So not like I have to, but like I get to, that type of thing.
Yeah, and I see that a lot when I'm like helping you scribe, and I see how your cueings in yoga like translate so well. Muscle testing, I'm like, wow, that is a great way to say certain things or like how to maneuver your body or something.
Yeah. Okay,
or like take a deep breath. I'm like, man, it just sounds like okay.
That's true. I do incorporate some like breath work sometimes, with clients.
Oh,
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm like, this is so natural for her. Like, this is great.
Yeah, awesome.
So, how do you personally incorporate the mindfulness, and how do you decompress from a stressful day?
So, two things mainly. So, one is connecting with nature. And so I'm lucky enough to live by the beach, and so I go there pretty often, especially with my dogs, to walk my dogs after work. And another thing is like moving my body. So whether that's like yoga or going for a bike ride or doing a workout class, I feel like that helps me really like de-stress and unwind too. But it also just kind of depends on like how I feel that day. So maybe that day I do feel like being active or connecting with nature, but maybe that day I just want to veg out and watch TV. And like I'll do that from time to time. So it really just depends. It's like, what do you need in that moment to find more balance and more peace? That's it.
That's perfect. And I'm glad you mentioned kind of listening to your body, because I know sometimes like I get super whatever, like kind of strict with myself or
totally
like hard on myself, like I should be walking.
And I'm the same.
I'm like, actually I don't want to walk and I just want to sleep.
That's probably what you need that day.
You know? And I'm glad you mentioned that, because by the way, thank you everyone for joining our live. I know, and it's for like even the younger girls too. Sometimes I feel like we're hard on ourselves.
Totally.
Like expectations or whatever. And being listening to
rigid.
I
hear ya.
And listening to ourselves is like one of the hardest things, I feel
yeah.
like.
And being gentle on yourself, you know, I think, I don't know, it's like, it's always, I've been always so curious about, like, why we are so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, out of, like, we're so nice to everyone else, you know? And then when it comes to us, it's a lot harder.
It's like, I'm willing to, like, give others so much grace. And then when it comes to myself, I'm like, wait, why didn't I practice that as I give to others?
Yeah, totally.
You know? So I'm like, oh, man. But, okay, so for those who don't know, Joanne has 2 fur babies that are the cutest. They're actually clients here at the center. So we also see animals. We've seen a couple cats, a couple dogs. And yes, can you tell us a little bit about your fur babies?
Yes, I'd love to. So I have 2 dogs, if they're listening. So I have 2 dogs. Their names are Rogue and Bucky, and I adopted Rogue when I lived in New Orleans. And she's very sweet, very confident and independent. And she, like, gets up first thing in the morning, is ready to go, ready for her walk. And then Bucky is super sweet too. He's a little bit younger, and I adopted him as well. He's an Australian cattle dog mix, but they're complete opposites because he'll want to sleep in till the very last minute. I'm like calling his name to go on the walk. And he's very playful. He has a best friend named Roxy, and he has this kind of like Eeyore quality to him, though, where he's kind of like slow and derpy. They're both very, very sweet, and I appreciate them so much. They always kind of get me up and moving. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I always love this story. So where did you find Bucky?
I adopted him when I lived in Rhode Island, and I saw him on like an adoption website that like just happened to be happening that day. Like it was literally like 10 minutes. It was gonna start in like 10 minutes, and I just like booked it over there. And they had given him like the names they gave him. His name was like Cowie on the adoption.
Bucky's way better.
This little girl getting in the car and being like, "Oh, that's Cowie." And I was like, "I need to get over there as fast as I can."
You were racing the little girl.
But so, she ended up picking another dog. So I was like, "Okay, great. Like, take this one." And it worked out. Yeah, it worked out really well. So
you didn't push her out. Julianne would never do that. So
I was like, I hope she doesn't want him. But he's really cute. There was like a whole litter of from his litter. There's like 7 of them, but he was only the kind of like weird spotted ones. I always wanted a dog like that. So, yeah, it was perfect.
He's so handsome.
Yeah, he is so cute.
So handsome.
I love him. Yeah.
I think he's a cattle dog mix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he has like freckles.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
He's too cute.
I don't understand why people don't like the freckles. My dog has freckles too, so I'm like, I'm all about the freckles.
Yeah, super cute.
Oh, good. And yes, they love Joanne so much. They're just like, they're happy to be with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, what is one health tip that you can give our clients or our listeners that you think is the most helpful?
I mean, it's really simple, I would say it doesn't have to be overcomplicated, but like one thing that I would emphasize is like cooking your own food as much as you can and focusing on eating whole foods in their natural state. And so, go grocery shopping, make a list. And then one thing like that you can keep in mind is like when you look at your cart, you want it to look like your plate. So you want to have some protein in there. You want to have mostly vegetables. and then some room for added fats, but just then take a look and see like, okay, is there like a lot of packaged food in here, or like frozen foods, think processed foods, things like that, and is there more of that than like the more of the stuff than you want on your plate, like the good quality proteins and veggies, and that's